Hey guys, and welcome to the 8th installment of Updated Builds, a series where I go back over warframes that I already made one or more videos for and I bring their builds up to date, because a lot of the build videos are very old and pretty outdated. Now today we're going to check out Harrow, who despite not being very old, he's a relatively new warframe, has received a new augment in the form of Lasting Covenant. And you guys have been asking for a build ever since I showcased that augment in a video, so for the sake of keeping everything nice and organized, I decided to turn this into an updated build video rather than just a regular one. Now when it comes to Harrow, I only use sort of 1.5 builds. The first one uses the Lasting Covenant augment and it focuses on all of his abilities at the same time, and the second one is just a chill bonus build where you can just run and gun and you don't have to worry about uptimes too much. And let's start it off with the Lasting Covenant setup. This is the one that I use like 99% of the time because it just works well in almost all situations. The aura I'm using here is Corrosive Projection, and this is just a stupid amount of extra damage because you're already providing a massive crit buff with Covenant, and if you then reduce the enemy armor with Corrosive Projection, you can get some really serious damage out of this. I'm then running Prime Continuity, which increases the duration of pretty much everything. It benefits all of Harrow's abilities. I'm then using Lasting Covenant, which augments Covenant and allows you to elongate the crit buff you get after the damage absorption by getting headshot kills. However, it is not very effective in pugs, because if your squad members are just mowing enemies down by the hundreds, you might want to put more duration here instead. Though I'm still using it even if I'm running in a pug and I have an AoE weapon to actually get some energy and stuff like that, because every now and then I will get a headshot kill and elongate the Covenant buff, so it's kinda nice. Then to increase the effectiveness of our abilities, I'm using Intensify and Power Drift, and this just buffs everything you do. It gives you more shields from Condemn, it increases the fire rate and reload speed buff from Penance, it increases the energy conversion from Terrible, and it also makes it so that you don't have to take as much damage in the invulnerability period during Covenant to get the full crit buff. Then after a couple of months of playing with Harrow, I finally decided to add some range via Stretch because I kind of got annoyed at how narrow Condemn is. Because if you're not using any range on Harrow, most of the corridors in the game are too wide for Condemn, so you're gonna have to cast it 2, maybe even 3 times to cover the whole thing, and it just got annoying over time. I'm then using Primed Flow because number 1, it's nice to have a ton of energy to spin your Thurible with, so you can get like 30 energy per kill, which is more than enough even if you're not getting headshot. And number 2, to have a big bank of energy for when, and if you've played Harrow in public missions, you know the situation, you spin your Thurible and you're like, alright, let's go get some energy, and you see Sarin throw the final spore on her mold and go and everything dies. And while the situation is still annoying, even with Primed Flow, you will generally have some energy left because you have so much of it to respin your Thurible and try again. Then I'm also running Streamline to make my abilities a little bit cheaper. This is mostly for Condemn because you're going to be condemning enemies a lot to get overshields and to make them easier to headshot, but it also helps with the previous situation because your Thurible doesn't drain as much energy. And we top it off with 2 defensive mods of your choice. I'm personally using Redirection and Primed Vigor, which gives me a ton of shields, which is nice because Harrow can replenish his shields with Condemn. Now, the way I generally do things with this setup is I start the mission by spinning my Thurible and get a couple of kills so I get some energy back. Once I feel like I got enough energy, I will find the biggest group of enemies I can, pop Covenant and stand in the middle of it and let them damage me to get the crit buff going. I will then sacrifice my shields with Penance to get the healing and buffs going and start condemning everything. And that's pretty much it. All you want to do from now on is just condemn everything you see and keep all the buffs rolling. Harrow is, in my opinion, one of the best designed warframes in the entire game. I absolutely love how his abilities combo together without feeling gimmicky. You are doing sensible things, it all makes sense, and it works. It's just awesome. You will spend your initial energy with Thurible to get some energy whenever you kill an enemy, and once you get some energy, you can start condemning enemies and start getting headshots, which gives you more energy. But as you're condemning things, you are stacking mad amounts of overshields, which works really well with Penance because the more shields you sacrifice, the longer the buff is going to last. But now, thanks to the addition of Lasting Covenant, it's even better because when you condemn something, not only are you getting overshields from hitting them with Condemn and making them very easy to headshot because of the way they stand when they get chained down, so you're getting more healing from Penance and more energy from Thurible, you are also extending the crit buff you get from Covenant now, and that makes getting headshots feel really good because it's not just a headshot which feels good on its own, it's all this stuff on top of it. It just all fits together so well. Pardon my French here, but I absolutely love this setup. Though I must say I do enjoy it in solo play a lot more because I can do whatever I want, I can control what's happening around me, but that's not to say that it doesn't work in an organized party or even in public squads, because it does. You just have to approach the situation a little bit differently. You generally want to spin your thurible for longer and go for kills, not headshots with an AoE weapon. Though you don't necessarily have to do this if you're good at headshotting in the mayhem that is public squads. I just find it too annoying and stressful to not only just look for enemies to kill for energy and healing, but to also try to headshot them at the same time. And now let's quickly check out the not so serious bonus build. This one is for sort of just running gun kind of gameplay. I'm running Energy Siphon as my aura because I just want as much energy as possible. This gives me a little bit of leeway so I don't have to be as efficient with thurible. I'm then running Prime Continuity and Constitution, which gives everything a lot of duration, so once again I don't have to worry about ability uptime too much, which is once again followed up by Intensify and Power Drift to increase the effectiveness of my abilities. And now comes sort of the less serious portion of this setup, so I'm running Augur Accord, Primed Vigor and Redirection for a stupid amounts of shield, and I topped it off once again with Streamline for some extra efficiency, so the abilities are a lot cheaper, and Primed Flow so I can bank a ton of energy. Now, I know some of you may be asking, well, why so many shields, mate? Shields are not that good. And my answer to that is, well, because having 4,110 overshields is just really cool. Now, as I said in the beginning, this is sort of just a chill build for when I want to play Harrow, but I don't want to micromanage all the different buffs at the same time. So it's more of a running gun setup. It's kind of as simple as it gets. All I really do with this setup is spin my thurible so that I have energy to condemn things. That's pretty much it. It's just a chill, beefy build that has a ton of crowd control and something you can switch to when you get tired of micromanaging all the buffs and getting headshots on everything. Because as fun as it is to do all of that, it kind of gets tiring if you do it for a while. And that's pretty much it for the builds. Now, when it comes to the Forma, if you're not quite sure how to do it, simply put on all the mods, and if they don't fit, look for the one that has the highest capacity drain, Forma for that, and do that until you can fit in all the mods. And as always, I thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video and it was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.